Hello listeners and viewers, welcome to Kaduna State Ministry of Education Radio and TV e-learning program designed for our SS3 and other students staying at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. The present administration under the able leadership of His Excellency, Malam Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai, is positioned as always to ensure that under his leadership, our students are not left behind in all areas of human endeavors, especially education. Kaduna State is the center of learning. Therefore, we want to ensure that our students excel in their forthcoming examinations and beyond. Students and other learners at home are given this opportunity in order to continue learning, as education is a continuous process. Different subjects will be taught in this program to assist students to perform excellently in the forthcoming Senior School Certificate examination being conducted by NECO and WAEC as soon as schools reopen. Teachers making presentations will always provide their names and phone numbers during each presentation, and they can be contacted for questions, further explanations, and/or clarifications. The following numbers and contacts can also be reached for expression of any concern or observation: 090-865-00545 or 080-383-62072. Our website is www.education.kdsg.gov.ng. Our email education@kdsg.gov.ng or education.kdsg@gmail.com. Our YouTube channel, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Our Twitter handle @Kaduna_MOE. Or our Facebook page, Ministry of Education, Kaduna State. Stay safe, stay at home, and learn well. Thank you, happy listening, and happy viewing.
Good day, learners. My name is Sherifat Abubakar. You are welcome to Agricultural Science class. And today's topic is plant pest. In our last lesson, we discussed about plant diseases, in which we look at the types and examples of plant diseases. We look at effects and importance of plant diseases, and also the control or preventive measures of plant diseases. But today's lesson is going to be based on plant pests. Plant pests. And under this topic, we shall be looking at the following areas. 1. Definition of plant pest, types of plant pest, classification of insect pests based on their mode of feeding, examples of plant pests, effects or economic importance of insect pests in crop production. Lastly, we have prevention or control of plant pests, then your assignments. What is plant pest? Plant pest can be defined as any organism capable of causing damage to crop plants. I repeat, plant pests can be defined as any organism capable of causing damage to crop plants. Any organism that is capable of causing any damage to our crop plants is referred to as crop plants, crop pests. What are the types of plant pests that we have? We have a lot of them. And they can be grouped into the following classes. Number one group is insects. Then we also have another group of plant pests known as birds. We have rodents, we have monkeys, and we have man as a pest. All these classes are types of plant pests that we have. Now, among these types of plant pests, number one, we said we have insects. What is insects? Insect is a small arthropod animal that has 6 legs with 1 or 2 wings. Now, let's see classification of this insect pest. These insects are classified into various groups based on their mode of feeding. One, we have insects that is of biting and chewing insects. We have another group which is piercing and sucking insects. Then lastly, we have a boring insects. Boring insects. What are these biting and chewing insects? These are pests that possess a special mouth parts known as mandible and maxillae. This mandible and maxillae enable them to bite and chew plant parts. This special mouth part is the one that enables them to chew plant parts. For example, we have termites, we have grasshopper, we have armyworm, locusts, beetles, and so on and so forth. So the special mouth parts that this type of insect possess is what makes them to bite and chew plant parts. The second group is piercing and sucking insects. These pests also possess a special mouth part known as proboscis. It is this mouth part that enable them to pierce through plant parts. And they suck liquid materials from plant tissues. This proboscis is what makes them to pierce through plant parts and suck liquid materials from plant tissues. Example of this group are the aphids, we have the whiteflies, we have the mealybugs, we have the scale insects, cotton stainers, and so on and so forth. These are the groups of insects that possess this proboscis to enable them to pierce through plant parts and suck liquid materials from plant tissue. The last group is burrowing insects. Burrowing insects. These insects and their larval stage, that is the adult stage of these insects and their larval stage, they are capable of burrowing into plant parts and destroy the tissues of the plants. They destroy the fruits, they also destroy the seeds. For example, we have bean beetles, we have the stem borrowers, we have maize weevils and rice weevils. These are the examples of insects that can burrow into plant parts to destroy the tissues. Now let's look at examples of plant pests. Here we have a table and we have name of plant pests, we have the plant attacked, then we also have location of attack. That is the point at which this pest attack the plants. Number one example is stem borrowers. The plant attacks are serious. Examples are rice, maize, and guinea corn. The location of attack, that is the larva of these stem borrowers, bore holes into the stem of the plant of the rice and maize and guinea corn and destroy them. Another example is pod burrowers, which attack the legumes. Example, we have the cowpea and soya beans. The location of attack is that the larval stage of these pod burrowers bore into the pod and destroy the pod. The next example is we have the locust. Locust affects rice and millets, and the location of attack is that the adult stage of the locust and the larval stage hit up the leaves and also the stem and destroy them. Another example is birds. It attacks our rice, maize, millet, and so on and so forth. Location of attack, these birds feed on grains in the field. Then we have rodents, for example, rats, which attack rice, yam, cassava, and so on and so forth. Location of attack of these rodents, they feed on crops, plants, both on the field and in the store. They feed on the crop plants, both on the field and in the store. Here we have both on the field and in the store. We have pests that affects our crop plants on the field. We call them feed pests. Then we also have ones that affects our crop plants in the store. That is where we keep or where we store our grains. They are also referred to as store produce pests. Now let's look at the effects or economic importance of insect pests to plants. Effect or economic importance of insect pests to plants. Learners, you have to take note of this. In your exam, if you see a question that says list the effects of insect pests to plants, is the same thing as these points I'm about to give you now. And if it comes in list economic importance of insect pests to plants, is the same thing. So you have to take note of this. One of the effects or economic importance of insect pests to plants is that they reduce the yield of crop plants. When pests affect our crop plants, they reduce the yield of the farmer. Secondly, they cause total death of crop plants. When they affect our crop plants, they destroy or they lead to total death of the crop plants on the field. They reduce the quality of produce in the store or on the field. Pest infestation reduces the quality of produce, either in the store or on the field. Remember, I told you we have field pests and we have store pests. So they reduce the quality of this crop of produce in the store and also on the field. Next, we have farmers' profits are reduced. The profits of the farmers are also reduced since the yield is reduced. So the money that comes into the farmers' pockets will also be reduced. They render vegetables and fruits unattractive and unmarketable. The fruits and vegetables from infected farm with infestation of pests will look unattractive and unmarketable. People will price them very cheap in the market, so the farmer will not have enough income. They increase the cost of production. In the process of trying to control the infestation of pests on the field, it adds to the cost of production. Now, let's look at the prevention or control of plant pests. How can we prevent these pests from attacking our crop plants, or how can we control it? Pests can be prevented or controlled through the following method. 1, we have the physical control. 2, we have the cultural control. 3, we have the biological control. And 4, we have chemical control. Now, let's look at each of these preventive and control measures one after the other. Number 1, physical control. This involves the physical removal of pests by either unpicking of these insects and their larvae. When you enter your farm and you notice that you have pests that are eating up the leaves of the plants, you can unpick these insect pests or their larvae. If it's the larva stage that is eating up the stem, either the stem or the leaves, you can use your hand to pick them and destroy them. Secondly, by setting traps to catch rodents. For example, the rats. You can set traps to catch rats on the field. Shooting rodents with gun. You can as well shoot a gun at these rats to kill them. Fencing around the farm with wire nets. You can fence your farm with a wire net in order to prevent the infestation of this plant pest. Now let's look at the cultural control. This cultural control involves the use of farm practices to prevent or control pests. 1, we have practicing of crop rotation. What is crop rotation? Crop rotation is a system of planting different crops on the same piece of land in a systematic manner. What do I mean by systematic manner? In a system that you divide your piece of land into different plots. Then you are going to plant different crops in each of these plots. That is for the first farming season. The following year, what you are going to do is that you are going to change these crops into another different plots. If you plant yam on plot A for the first year, and the second year you are going to transfer this yam onto plot B in the second year, so as to reduce the pest infestation. Because the pest of yam on plot A, when you plant crop like cowpea on plot A, and the following year it will not have any host to attack. So it will eradicate the pathogen that cause that pest on that plot. Secondly, we have use of pest-resistant variety of seed. When you plant a seed that has a resistance or that can resist the effect of pest infestation, then good tillage operation. When you make a tillage, a good tillage, you till your land very well, it helps to control this pest by exposing this insect to the sunlight, and it kills most of the sunlight because of the high temperature. Use of insect trap. You can also set traps to catch most of these insects on the farm. And picking is also another control of destroying these insects. Burning crop residue. That is after harvesting your crop, after harvesting, you burn the crop residue. This crop residue will automatically destroy this pest, because if you don't do that, you allow it to decompose on the soil, it can regenerate when you plant another seed. But dear learners, there's something I want to take note here. In burning crop residues on the farm, you have to make sure that this fire did not escalate into the whole farm. And another side effect of burning on the farmland is that it destroys most of the organic matter that is in the soil. It destroys the structure. It exposes the soil to erosion. Now, the next control measure is proper weeding. When you do proper weeding on the farmland, it helps to reduce the infestation of pests. Then sanitation or clean clearing. When you remove all the debris and stumps on the farm, you have a clean farmland. Mind you, another side effect of doing this again is that it can also exposes the soil to erosion. And most of the soil structures are also destroyed. Timely planting and timely harvesting. When you plant your seeds at the right time and you harvest your plants or your crop at the right time, it helps to reduce the infestation of plant pests. Now let's move on to biological control. This involves the introduction of natural enemies of these pests to control the pests or keep the pest population under control. The enemies eat up or feed on the pests, thereby reducing the population. We have example, introduction of rats as a natural enemy. You know, rodent is one of the type of plant pest. You can introduce cats as a natural enemy to hit up these rodents. Another side effect that can come up while using natural enemies onto the farm is that this natural enemy can start attacking other crops that are free from attack before. So you have to take notes when using this type of biological control, so that the natural enemy will start eating up the crop or try to affect the other crop that is free from attack. Lastly, we have the chemical control, which involves the use of chemicals like pesticides or insecticides for controlling of pests or insects. We have a rodenticide, which is a chemical used for controlling rodents. We have herbicide, chemicals used for controlling birds on the farmland. My dear learners, we have come to the end of today's lesson. Let's quickly go over what we have learned so far. We define plant pests as any organism that is capable of causing any damage to our crop plants. We look at the types of plant pests. We said we have man, we have rodents, we have monkey, insects, and so on and so forth. We also went ahead to look at the classification of these insect pests based on their mode of feeding. We look at the biting and chewing insects, the piercing and sucking insects, then we also look at the burrowing insects. We gave example of plant pests, which we said we have rodents, we have birds, we have stem borrowers, we have pod borrowers. And we also went ahead to look at the effects of these plant pests. It reduces the yield of the farmer, it increases the cost of production, they render vegetables and fruits unattractive, and the profits of the farmers are reduced. We also went ahead to look at the prevention or control of plant pests. They are of 4 classes. We have the physical control, cultural control, biological control, and chemical control. So, dear learners, before I will go, I need to give you an assignment to keep you busy while at home. 1A, what is a plant pest? B, list the various types of plant pests. 2A, classify insect pests based on their mode of feeding. B, parts, list any 2 examples of plant pests. Number 3A, list 5 economic importance of plant pests. 3B, list and explain any 2 preventive or control measures of plant pests. Let me repeat the assignment again. 1A, what is a plant pest? 1B, list the various types of plant pests. 2A, classify insect pests based on their mode of feeding. 2B, list any 2 examples of plant pests. 3A, list 5 economic importance of plant pests. 3B, list and explain any 2 preventive or control measures of plant pests. Dear learners, if you want to submit your assignments or if you have any question based on the topic, you can forward your answers towards this line. My name is Sherifat Abubakar. My number is 08068293928. I repeat, Sherifat Abubakar, 08068293928. And my colleagues are Thomas Peter, 08051216365. Thomas Peter, 08051216365. Then Rashida Umar, 08034513576. Rashidat Umar, 08034513576. Stay home, stay safe. COVID-19 is real. Thank you.